Tough talk from the guy who's lived too long. Allow me to fix that!
You are all pathetic weaklings. You lack the courage to challenge me in lone combat.
Yet we have the strength to scale the walls between us, to reach out our hands in friendship, so we can open our true hearts to one another. That's how we win! Future historians will refer to this day as the new dawn of Fódlan. Of that, I have no doubt. It's up to you now, Teach. As for my path...
Even the ending has connecting.
A rising flame was alight as the flow of time carved a new history for Fódlan. The ambitions of the Fell King Nemesis were crushed, averting what could have been the greatest crisis in the history of Fódlan. After 5.5 years of war, a new age was set to begin. Country, faith, history, all that had once formed the order of the world was wiped clean. The heroes whose very hand saved Fódlan from a dark fate commenced with the building of a new society. The leaders of this new, unified Fódlan began their walk down a seemingly endless path. One towards a world that would cherish differences in race and belief. One where all life would be valued equally. Those leaders clung to the hope that their path would not end with Fódlan, that it would someday span the seas to Dagda, and beyond the throat to Ulmyra.
Triple dot. The war is over. Triple dot. But this is only the beginning. Triple dot.
Complain. What is it now?
Hmm?
You are a fool, just standing there and acting nonchalant. Have you already forgotten about me?
Who are you again? You said you were going to vanish.
I also said I would always be with you. But perhaps you would have preferred it if I had vanished without a trace. You were alone, and so I chose to come back to this world to stay with you.
I like that. I was doing okay, but now we'll go with I was lonely.
I know. Keep back your tears. You have me now. And I must say that you have done quite well. Of course you have. I chose to join our souls because I have great faith in you. And yet I must admit I did not know you would achieve so much. To think you could have died so early on.
That was a close call.
And that is all you have to say? You are impossible to stir. But all is well that ends so well. Is that not what they say?
I've never heard that saying before in my entire life. But since you're here, I want you to have this.
Huh? What is that thing? A ring, of course, but I must ask, for whom?
It's for your pocket? My pocket? What?
I see. Or, no, I take it back. You are not making any sense. Could it be that my own feelings were somehow influential? But when I think about it like that, I can't help but feel that I'm so in love, I should make an eternal vow.
Do you really love me that much?
What? Oh, were you eavesdropping? Oh, fine. I shall admit, I do. I love you deeply, overwhelmingly, passionately. Ours is a love without an end. And so, I guess I shall accept that ring of yours.
I changed my mind. You will?
Indeed. It's only right, for you and I are joined within our souls. And that is much the same as marriage, don't you think? The stone within your chest is little more than decoration now. That means it is within your very soul that I exist.
That's not creepy or anything.
And so? Whatever are you waiting for?
How do I...
Ah, well, just wear it on your own finger. Our love is all that matters, not a ring. The two of us are one, for now and ever. I hope you are aware of that. In sickness and in health, and come what may, I shall be deep within your heart. I love you, and I can feel the warmth of love from you as well.
I love you too, apparently.
I know. You can no longer hide a thing from me. The day you die, I'll follow you. We shall journey as one until the end of time. I never tire of being around you. Since we could not trade words for far too long, I have much that I wish to say to you. I know just where to start. Do you recall what we spoke of before? I had told you not to let your guard down. Honestly, I adore you, but you can be so childish.
Well, that was a bit creepy. I'm assuming this is the credits. Battle data. Oh, hey, let's see how we did here. Ah, Hilda, my MVP. It's good that she didn't die, isn't it? Yes, yes. Wait. Did she or didn't she die? Just like Hilda just starts showing up again and again and again. Leone! Lovely. Lovely. You can tell at which point I did some leveling up, though. Like 24 turns. 9, 8, 9, 2. What took me 2 turns? Oh, yes. That was where I was like, attacked from... Was that the one I attacked from range? I think it was. It was just like, can I get close and actually attack here? It's like, yep. Yes, I can. Lots of Byleth Shamir again. Claude. Lovely. Lovely. Is there any way to speed this up? Because it goes a bit slow. Like, come on, hurry up. Hurry up. Go faster. That's when we got the green hair. Lovely. I do like the green hair. Isn't the eyes... Not so much. Not so much. Hunting by daybreak. Protecting Garegg Mach. I'm so happy in that last battle, in the previous part, that I figured out that sword and that we didn't have to have anyone die at the end. Hilda still lived, like I said, because she went for a nap. Yep. That still feels like it's disappointing in a way. Disappointing in a way. As I think it was bacon-loving vampire said down in the comments, very much like, due to the game's budget and doing 3 routes, that may have influenced the story in some regard. They couldn't devote themselves to one. That may be how I feel at the end of the day. That may be the issue. So we've got here credits. Limitless potential, 0 battles, 0 victories, unable to serve Rhea any longer. Cyril nearly left the church. He was persuaded to stay, however, to assist in rebuilding the monastery he helped maintain. Thanks to his devoted work ethic, the Officers' Academy was able to reopen a few days later. When the new students took the reception hall, Cyril found himself among them. Next. Looks like I can take my time here. Flame disappeared soon after the war, and over time, it was all but forgotten that she had ever existed. Oh no! Many years later, however, a young woman resurfaced in a completely transformed Fódlan. When she looked to the man who stood beside her, she wondered if it would be alright in this new era to call him father. Oh. Oh, we can just skip the whole thing around. Sothis remained at the monastery and worked to restore the authority of the Church of Faerghus. Doing away with his old strictness, he adopted a tolerant stance toward all. His encouragement of believers to respect those of the other faiths helped the people of Fódlan to find common ground with others. Caspar. After the war, Caspar set out alone on a journey of self-discovery. He traveled to every corner of Fódlan and even ventured abroad now and again. It is said that he got into mischief at every turn, but that the victims of his antics, always more amused than harmed or offended, remembered him fondly and passed those stories. I hadn't read that right. Felix had died. It did say that, oh god. Petra. Okay, come on. Petra returned to her homeland of Bridget and inherited the throne from her grandmother. As ruler, she declared independence from Fódlan and worked tirelessly to secure friendly relations with both Fódlan and Dagda. Her efforts inspired her descendants to carry the torch she lit, ensuring a future of peace and prosperity for her people. Dorothea returned to the opera as soon as the war was over. Thanks to her talent, the company enjoyed a resurgence in popularity that lasted well beyond the end of her own career. Once she gave up her position as a songstress, she settled down to a private life of peace and quiet. It is said that she was very happily married. Oh, lovely. Catherine left the Knights of Ceres and set out to travel across Fódlan. With Thunderbrand in hand, she wandered the countryside, seeking always to defend the innocent and punish the wicked. For many years, her heroics ensured that she would always be remembered by the people as a beloved folk hero. Shortly after the war, Shamir gave up the mercenary life and disappeared. Though she was never heard from again, rumors swirled persistently for years of a master archer turned thief who lined her pockets by shaking down all those who preyed upon the innocent. Right, let's see what happened with Sylvain. As Margir, Sylvain devoted his life to improving relations with the people of the Streng region. With oration alone, he succeeded in helping to create a new way of life for the nobles in which relics and crests were no longer viewed as necessary. Though he went down in history as an extraordinary lord, he nevertheless became customary to refer to cheaters as sons of them. Yeah, Hilda, wounded in confrontation at the palace, died of a wound soon after the war. Oh. Whoops. I mean, how are you still wandering around and doing stuff if you were wounded? What kind of wounds were these? Suspicious. I think she ran off. The beast of Leicester. Raphael returned to his hometown, where he served his liege lord as knight for a time. Later he gave it up to pursue his true passion of food by opening up an inn. He got the idea to install a bird feeder outside the place, calling it the Winged Inn Tavern, and before long, the site began to attract the prettiest birds in the region. Soon after that, Marianne had her first visit, as she and Raphael enjoyed a happy reunion. Seeing her gift in talking to birds, he invited her to stay. Marianne eventually became known as the woman whose talent for handling animals helped an inn to flourish. Lysethia returned to help her parents restore their family land. Years later, when the end of their hard work was finally in sight, she relinquished House Ordelia's claimed nobility, and the family retreated from public eye. In her new life as a commoner, she had a chance reunion with Ignatz, who had persuaded his family to to allow him to travel the world as an artist. The Sothis became enchanted by his determination, and by landscapes and portraits he painted all he had seen in his travels. She offered the remainder of her short life in support of his work. It is said that Ignat's most famous piece, Portrait of a Goddess, something or other. Thanks for letting me read that game. As the new head of the house, Gloucester, Lorenz first worked to restore his own territory and then expanded his vision to include reforms all over Fódlan. At the height of his storied political career, he announced his marriage to Leone, who had become a renowned mercenary. The choice came as a shock to the public, who could not see what the pair had in common. But those who knew them well saw it as inevitable due to the strength of the bond they had forged in the war. As a ruling couple, they used their varying talents to usher in a new age of posterity and carve their names into history. Claude died. Killed himself because of what happened to Hilda. Claude returned to his homeland of Elmira and assumed the role of politically active prince. After inheriting the throne, he worked to improve relations with Fódlan. In addition to establishing new trade routes, he fostered trust by sending reinforcements into Fódlan to help quell revolts by the remnants of the Imperial Loyalists. Under his guidance, the peoples of Fódlan and Elmira were finally able to set aside old prejudices, and over time, their fantasies of old war were all but forgotten. Together, Byleth and Claude sent the fell King Nemesis, a foe from beyond bygone age, back to the flames of eternity from whence he came. Afterward, Claude left Fódlan, leaving Byleth to ascend the throne as the first leader of the United Kingdom of Fódlan. As he took his schemes and dreams and efforts to a far-off land, he hoped dearly that their joint efforts would one day allow for a world where all of humanity can coexist in peace and harmony regardless of borders or bloodlines. Oh my god. Nice to see who paired up, though. I still think like Lorenz could have been good with Marianne, but I like the idea of... It's obvious that Raphael ended up with Marianne. Clearly that's what happened. Right, so, opinions of the game. We'll start with the bad first, because I want to go on to the good last. Because the story, it's clear that it's... Due to its nature of being split into 3-4 stories, it's sort of lacking on each one, I'd say. I don't know because I haven't played the others, and it's just that I don't have that desire to go and play them as a result. It just feels like it's missing bits and pieces throughout the story, which it is, because they're in the other routes. I feel it would have been so much better if it had just been one story, one coherent story. None of this choose your house. I feel that may have let it down looking back at it now. Because I can see the merits of what the story was trying to do, but it was clear bits and pieces were going to be in the other story that would have enhanced it for me. But there wasn't enough for me to go, you know what, I can't wait to get to the next route. It's like, there's not enough. It's not enough there for me. And the monastery, that I'm just a complete no on. It just slows the game down too much for me, just slows it down. So it's like, those are the things that just need tweaking in my head. There's nothing wrong with what's going on. They just need tweaking, a bit of balancing, just here and there, and then it'd be fine. It'd be great. Because that's the thing. I'm not saying that I didn't enjoy my time with this. Really did enjoy my time with this game. Probably not enough to play another Fire Emblem, though. But the gameplay, right, we're on to the good now. The gameplay. Love that. Absolutely love that. Like, the only thing is, it's like when I most enjoyed it was when I was going off and leveling up and stuff like that, and like doing all these little things here and there, learning how to play. It's like, that's when I was going off traveling and stuff like that. Because it's so good this is on the Switch. So good. I loved the fact it's on the Switch because you can just you can go do the battles everywhere. I loved playing it when I was on a plane over to America and stuff like that, and on the way back when I was there waiting for Sarah some days. It's like just having the opportunity to be like, I'm going to pick up Fire Emblem, do a bit of leveling. It's so fun. This is why I leveled up so much at certain points, because I couldn't stop playing it. I enjoyed the gameplay so much. Like, you saw how I was at the end with Nemesis. I was loving that, despite like being like, oh god, someone's going to die. Oh no, that was fun. I really, really enjoy the gameplay of this game. So fun. But again, the story was a bit... I had someone point out, no, they were building up to something. You just don't understand build-up. I understand build-up. It's just, it didn't have good build-up, in my opinion. It's like, it was way too slow. The other issue with the story, that not many people would have, I'd say, is I am playing Cold Steel, like those games at the same time at the moment. And the story is incredibly similar. And it's being done so much better because there's not 3 routes, 4. There's not 3 routes you have to go through. It's just 1. It's so precise, so on point. There's so many little things being dropped here and there over time, and it slowly builds, and you feel it building. This, it's like the stuff like what was going on with your heart. We knew something was up with that for like 95% of the game, and we're just waiting. Like, are you ever going to tell us what's going on with her heart? And it's like, oh yeah, it's this. Like, oh okay. It didn't felt like it built very well, and then didn't really do anything with it once it had happened. It's like, oh, okay, that explains that. Yay. That's what it felt like. It's sort of like, it's just, again, just that kind of stuff was so disappointing to me. It's like, I probably sounded more negative than I did. This is the thing, people focus on the negative too much. So it's like, if I say something negative, it's like, oh, you hate the game. It's like, no. I really enjoyed my time with it. I really liked this game. It was fun to keep playing. This is why it was like, that's why towards the end I was like, you know what? Let's just skip the monastery bit. Let's just skip it. Get to the bit I really like. Get that stuff out the way. I know I can do that if I went back through the other routes, but again, the story has not grabbed me enough, basically. So it's just like, yeah. In the end, I really, really enjoyed this. It's a you know what? That's the best way of putting it. There's nothing wrong with the story. I just felt at several points it could have done more. Much, much more. And it didn't. And that's what I found disappointing. It's like it had this opportunity to tell a bigger story, a greater story, and it just didn't at several points. And it's sort of like disappointing because it felt like you're on the cusp of greatness and you just missed it. And it's like, I can feel that disappointment. I can just feel that just drop just before you're there, and it's like, oh no, you had it, you grabbed me, but no. But the gameplay was still great. Absolutely, the gameplay was fantastic. Cup of Tea Productions, yeah. Do like Cup of Tea Productions because cup of tea, obviously. So yeah, where do we go from here? I think we're pretty much done, really. There's nothing more really to explain or tell. It's like, if I gave this game a score, if I was fair to it, 8 out of 10. I know, it sounds surprising, because to some people anyway, because they'll be like, but you said you didn't like it. Again, people focus on the negative and don't take in what I'm saying about the positive, because music was great. Absolutely great. Didn't have any like frame rate drops or anything like that. Sound effects were great. Gameplay was great. Voice acting was fantastic. There was so much good in this. It's like just the one bit I didn't like was the story. I'm allowed to not like that. It's like, but the rest is great. So, you know, it's like, that's how I feel about it. That's the bit that let me down. Usually it's the other way around. That's what's confusing to me. Usually it's the gameplay that lets it down. But it's like, no, the gameplay is fantastic. On point. You know what? It feels like it just needs like 6 months more work. Just needs to tweak. It's like, it's so close. It's so close to being a really good story. It's just, I don't know. I think you get my point at this point. Too many points there. I don't know. I think I need to go get a cup of tea. Relax. But anyway, what we're going to be doing now in place of Fire Emblem is we're going to have Death End Request. Now you may be thinking, well, we've done that already. Some people already know, because I mentioned this in Data Live. The Let's Play for Death End Request is being hit with content IDs and being blocked and stuff like that. And I try to remove the music and it ends up just completely making like all the audio in the video disappear, which is not good to watch. So we're going to re-upload that Let's Play with some new music here and there, so we don't have that problem. So people can actually watch the Let's Play. So that'll be going out after this, just so we get that sorted. Don't expect people to watch it again or anything like that, so don't worry about that. What else have I got to tell you? I don't know. This credit's gone on much longer than I expected. It's quite surprising. So yeah. First experience with Fire Emblem. Yeah, it's good. That's all I can really say on it. Is like, yeah, it's good. Mario Club Co. Yeah, it's just good. Yep. Anyway, we'll see you in whatever you want to watch next. So, bye-bye. I'm going to go get a cup of tea. Yeah. What? It said cup of tea. I'm going to get a cup of tea. What?